To the stock pick profits market update. It is June 26, 2018. Let's go ahead and get started. While everybody's signing on, let's kind of mention the disclaimer. Always read the disclaimer. It's in the bottom of the title section. Just real briefly, past performance is not an indicator of future performance, right? And we are not registered advisors. We are not certified. Nothing in this broadcast should be considered investment advice because you should always consult a professional. Okay? So we give everybody a few minutes while we get our charts and stuff all set up here, ready to go. All right. Let's see which gives you the best view here. Kind of fiddling around while everybody's signing on. Okay, well, here we go. So today, interesting market day, right, everybody? We got a little bit of a recovery. We're up over 100 points during the day. You know, things went fairly orderly today. There wasn't that angry desperation that we've seen the last few trading days. In the trading, volume was okay. It wasn't that great, but it was pretty good. So basically, we were up about 30 points on the Dow, and we were up. We're up about 5 points on the S&P. We're up about 30 points on the NASDAQ, and we're up about maybe 30 points on the Dow. Not even 0.5% on each. The Russell 2K, on the other hand, was up a little bit over 0.5%, and the VIX was down about 8%. Remember yesterday, the VIX popped up about 25%, which was a pretty fairly substantial move, but it's right back under that $17 level. Just not showing the signs that you usually get on a major sell down. So there's still that fight going on with between the market and everything else, the media and all that. So, you know, we'll just keep an eye on that. An interesting chart that we wanted to talk about today is this S&P chart. Back on camera here. There you go. You know, and then moving down the line, guess what? You know, we were talking about this yesterday. We were talking about Facebook, and we were talking about how we haven't seen those ads for a while, right? And that, my question was answered with a news article today, and we'll post the in the comments here. We'll post. Can you remove your video? Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to remember that. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Samuel. So when I come off the video, you can't hear me. I'll figure that out. Thank you. Let's get back to Facebook. So I'll post the link down in the comments if you guys want to read the article. But what happened was Facebook today, they reversed their order. Remember, they had that ban on crypto ads. And what that is all of a sudden, then there was no ads for ICOs. There was no ads for these funds and these what is it, crypto trading programs and stuff. And for a while, you haven't seen them. So now Facebook's decided to lighten up those rules a little bit, but still, you cannot have ads for the ICOs, which is pretty much where all the fraud and stuff seems to be happening, right? Besides the other black eyes that are associated with Facebook. Another big thing in the market today was oil pushing higher. Oil had a really, really good day today. And what it is now the orders have been given that no one is allowed to buy, right back at you, Samuel. Nobody is allowed to buy oil from Iran now. So oil went up about $2 today on the spot oil. Now, we weren't in an oil play, man. We missed this one. But who saw it coming, right? It kind of made sense, but we didn't want to put any bets on the table because it could have, it would have, it should have, but it might not have, right? And there was a little bit too much risk in that play. If you did play oil, congratulations. That's a really, really good move. Good hindsight on that. Good predicting and stuff. So look, one of the big things today, excuse me here. One of the big things today is there was a little bit move in banks. We saw Bank of America have a little move. It went into the green. It started off real red, right? It went right down to that $28 level. It was bouncing around, and it ended up closing green today. It had a nice second half of the day. All the big banks had a good second half of the day. The regionals, the smaller ones, and your BDCs and stuff like that didn't quite catch on like the big banks did. But that's nice. If money is starting to move into the banks, we've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now, right? Are you positioned for what's going to happen next with banks? We are. And we actually have a few plays on it right now. So, you guys, if you're looking for something to play, look into the banks right now. They've been beat up over the last couple of weeks and the prices are pretty cheap. And you saw that today in Bank of America. It seemed like it was just a lot of bargain hunting today. So as the money comes into the big banks, will it trickle down and start lifting up the small banks, right? We always talk about with the Russell 2000 and the S&P 500, right? Russell 2000 is your small caps. Your S&P 500 is your 500 most companies that most well represent the U.S. economy. And so what happens is with stocks, generally the small stocks get a little fire and then they pick up the big stocks. Big stocks it's the old saying that we talk about. You're turning a cruise liner as opposed to a speedboat, right? With the big banks, with the big stocks. So with the smaller stocks, you generally see a better move. It's usually the other way around with the banks. Usually the big banks will start getting some money because that's your funds. Those are your funds, your pensions, things like that. They want to own Bank of America. They want to own Merrill Lynch. They want to own Wells Fargo and some of the banks like that. Warren Buffett, a huge investor in Wells Fargo and Bank of America. We're also expecting to see some dividend information. So it might be a good time to buy banks just based on that. And the regionals, if they get some good dividend information, they'll blow up. There's a lot of room to run in the regionals. The big banks don't have as much room after that 2016 winter move and what's happened over 2017. They've kind of cycled down a little bit. But you look at it like a Bank of America, it was $14 in 2016. Now it's $28. So that's an easy double, right? That's an easy double. And some people might be looking to take a little bit off the top, things like that. So it doesn't accelerate as quickly as, say, a smaller bank. You've got some real nice small banks. And if they've got good growth, if they've had a good quarter, if they're showing promise, especially in this ever-friendly environment as we go by, there's probably a good play in there. So are you playing banks? We are. And let's talk a little bit before we go to the questions. I just wanted to mention the Pandora. We talked about we were Pandora short, right? We actually talked about that after the members all got in and stuff. Pandora is kind of an interesting study right now. If you guys get a chance, go ahead and take a look at it for all you viewers. It's kind of an interesting study right now. It's fighting around that $8. We went short at $8. We'll say that publicly. But it looks like it's losing that fight at the top. And look, we've got a big thing coming up, okay? And you have to ask yourself right now, where is the catalyst for the next rally? Well, where is the catalyst for the next sell-off? And these are important for positioning your trades, especially over the next couple of weeks, because there's so much happening. We've got the second half of the stress test for the banks. A lot of good stuff, tech stuff happening in tech, right? And then you've got these big mergers and acquisitions. M&A is what fuels growth. And the more you see of it, like with the Comcast and the Fox, and there's a couple other ones out there, big ones, that's good. That's good for the economy. It shows consolidation. It shows some nice growth in sectors. It's always a good thing when you see a lot of M&A. So keep an eye on that also. So we're back to the question. What's the catalyst? Is the catalyst to go up, or is it to go down over the next couple of weeks? Well, we've got one thing that we'll mention right now, and over the week we'll talk a little bit more about it, is earnings season. Earnings season's right around the corner. This has been talked about a lot too, right? This earnings season, especially with banks. So is this a combination for a rally or a sell-off with banks? Ask yourself this now. Will earnings be so good? Will this second half of the stress test be so good that it blows banks up? Maybe it goes wrong, right? Maybe something goes wrong in the earnings reports. Maybe something goes wrong in the stress test, the second half, and they sell off. So which way are you playing it? We're curious to hear. You know what we're playing? We're playing bullish on banks, and we like regionals. We've been in Bank of America since 2016. We own Bank of America at 14. So isn't that nice? So, that pretty much sums up the market, just to kind of review real quickly. Tesla's under a little bit of a fire. Tesla's been up and down all week. If you're looking for a tradable stock, there might be something in Tesla for you traders out there, especially you day traders. The thing's kind of blipping fast. We were watching it for a little while on the level 2 today. Man, that thing's exciting. Goldman just downgraded it to a sell. Is that creating a buying opportunity? Remember a few months ago or about a year ago when Goldman put out a big sell on gold? Remember? And then about 2 weeks later, gold just blew up. And that was the big conspiracy theory on the internet, right? That Goldman called the sell so they could buy cheap gold. So is that what's happening now? Facebook reversed its ban on crypto ads. Are things coming together for crypto? These are the questions. If you're a Bitcoin player, you know how we feel about Bitcoin, but you might feel different. If you're a Bitcoin player, is this a sign of things starting to get a little easier for crypto? It's starting to get such a stigma, right, with the bad side of it, with the fraud and the hacking and the using it, terror money and things like that. It was really getting a bad name. And with all these ICOs that had this bad stigmas to them, it really gave Bitcoin a bad name, especially the ICOs, and they got banned on Facebook, and a lot of services weren't allowing them. Is this where the move's coming? Are things getting better for Facebook, right? And then oil pushing to recent highs. Does it have more to go? It's still about $2 off that high it made a week ago. So is that in the cards to break that high? Who knows? And always, let's close it with read the disclaimer. But let's talk about our investing saying of the day. Hey, we've got like a little eyes looking at this stuff, and we're back on Warren Buffett. Okay, sorry, we're not very creative here with the sources, but look, this is a really important saying. And you guys talk about it and think about it. Meditate on this for a while, because it's an important part to being a successful trader. The rich invest in time. The poor invest in money. Okay? The rich invest in time, and the poor invest in money. Think about that. What does that really mean? What does that really mean? Is your money working for you? Are you working for your money? Do you spend all your time chasing money, or does your money chase you? Do you have to wrestle a dollar bill to get it in your wallet, or does it jump in your wallet, or just magically appear? Ask yourself that question. This is a big a question to you as a trader, and every trader should ask themselves this. And if you need help with this, you know where to find it. But the rich invest in time. Okay, time is valuable. You hear our office say it all the time, especially to the trade team. They scold us about that. Your time is valuable, trade team. You should be trading, you should be researching, you should be doing what you do best. Are you doing other things, right? And same thing for them. They have their fortes and stuff. You have your forte. Are you investing in time or are you investing in money? Okay. So let's go ahead and roll to the questions and see what's going on here. We'll just do a quick Q&A here. Everybody looks to be here. Samuel, I got you on that. So we know if I take me off camera, I got to check how that works. Great comment from Samuel. Finally putting the squeeze on Iran, especially since they have billions of dollars in cash. You're good shot, Samuel. Hey, it's the truth. They do. They have pallets of cash, and we know why. They're obviously been putting it to work, right? But look, there's a big article. I'll search the article and I'll post it in the comments section. But I actually shared it with the office, Samuel in the office yesterday about Iran. And there's something important going on in Iran. There was a big news article, and it was from a Twitter feed, somebody in Iran. And what was happening was these people were rioting, or they were protesting, the people of Iran. And they weren't chanting death to America. They weren't chanting death to Israel. What they were chanting was death to Syria and all this other stuff. Well, guess what? Ask yourself this question. I'll give you something to ponder overnight until the next show. Ask yourself this question. With what Trump's doing in North Korea, so sanctions start to come off North Korea, right? The economy gets better. The people start to flourish. Things get better. Life in general goes up, right? Now, these people in Iran who have been in basically the same boat as North Korea for all these decades, right? Their oppressive regime, poor, starving in the streets, things like that. And now they see the North Koreans starting to get a good life, right? Starting to get a real good life. They're going to want that. They're going to want the same thing. And now what if the solution is just butting up to the United States, right? Why fight it? Be friends. Let's all grow together and let's prosper together, right? That's the whole idea behind what Trump's saying, right? That was his whole focus with the North Korea. It was about refurbishing a country. It was about bringing them in line to the times. It was about modernizing them. It was about normalizing that peninsula, demilitarizing it, getting nuclear weapons out of it. But it was really about making lives better, right? It's better for us as Americans and the Guamanians and all them. They don't have the nuclear threat right now. And it's good for the North Koreans. So how long before Iran wants that? The people of Iran, right? It sounds like they want it already. So like I said, I'll find that link to the article and I'll post it. Samuel and them saw it already. So, and usually we don't do it, but Chad, welcome. Alabama's back in the house. Yes. Samuel, thank you. Samuel, you're all over the board today. Please post your investment questions. No question is a stupid question. And Chad came right back with one. Effects of Canada's legalization on cannabis and the stock orders, plus the best stock picks, farmers and growers as compared to Canada's REITs or fertilizer spoilers. Not sure where you're going with that. But if you're asking me the comment, look, the movement is strong. Canada is proving that, right? Canada is straight across the board. We're getting legislation from Elizabeth Warren. We're getting legislation to allow banks to start to do business. And again, we bring you back to the same point. The problem in the United States right now is the banks cannot do business with the pot companies. Man, if we could solve that problem, that thing will just blow it up. And you're probably right there, Marco. That goes back to the Iranian statement about the Iranians wanting, a better life and stuff. Russia's going to try and have something to say in that. Absolutely. Look, Russia is losing allies all over, right? North Koreans, things like that. The Chinese are even more towards the middle line now, right? They're looking, they understand that it's important to protect their interests, but they also understand too there has to be a certain amount of cohesion within the other economies, within the global economies, in order for us to all succeed, right? It never works like that, and it never works where one country is just super strong and doing super well, and everybody else sucks. What happens is it always is, it floats all boats, you know. And so there might be, you know, and just before we close it off, because suppliers, you know, the suppliers, yeah. I mean, look, we're hearing stories, Samuel and myself, from friends that are in California, investors and stuff, that these guys have warehouses full of cash that they can't put in the bank. I don't believe they can use credit cards right now, right? I mean, everything's cash and carry. Let me see. Oh yeah, roll tide. Tua, baby. How's he doing over there? I heard he's having a great off season. Savar, when your service sends a sell signal, how much turnaround do we? You know, this is an interesting question, and it's really for the group. But let me put it this way: we've had 3 times. I believe Ryan is one of them, and a couple other people, but. Ryan, we put out a sell call on a Friday on a certain stock. It was up about 800%. So Ryan was going camping. He was already in the car. He was already ready to get out with the kids and all that, head to the campsite. So he texts the customer service and he said, look, man, should I run back in and should I make the trade? So the trade team took a look at it and Ryan, don't worry about it. Sell it on Monday. It'll still be there. Ryan ended up getting 1,300%. And then there was a couple other times. So look, we don't ever, don't try to catch tops. We don't try to catch bottoms. And it's interesting you mentioned that, Savar, because one of the things that we do is a lot of market research of other services. And we've been watching a couple services, top line services, supposedly. And every time they put out a sell call, it's like, say it was at $1.10 and they're selling at $1.10. They sell theirs at $1.10 and then they put out the alert. And then guess what? By the time you get the alert, it's 90 cents and stuff and it never sees $1. We're seeing that a lot. We don't do that. Generally, and Savar, you're a member, so you know, usually we go right in there and we actually do it on screen, right, when we sell. There's no hiding with us. Yes, Chad. You know, banks are drooling. Banks are literally drooling when they get their hands in this industry. Yes, sir. You bet. So look, guys, we're kind of busy over at the trade room, so I'm gonna cut it a little bit short here. You know, it's been great questions. You guys come back tomorrow, okay? We got a lot of research to do. We're looking at some cool plays. Looks like an inflection time on the market. You should make sure you guys are prepared too, okay? If you're not, as always, you know where to click, you know where to go. We're there for you. But it's a busy afternoon, so I got to get back to the trade team. That was your market review for today. As always, thank you for all your questions. Let's do one more. Just check one more on Chad. He's going to be out a starter. Oh, okay, that's Tua. QPEG. We'll put that on the list and we'll talk about it tomorrow, Chad. We'll go take a look at it. Is that the symbol, QPEG? That's fine. We'll go take a look at it. We'll let you know tomorrow. So, guys, I got to get back to the trade room. Things are happening. All right, man. Everyone have a great Tuesday afternoon. It was a nice market day. It was a nice little bottom there. It looks like it put in. Whether it holds or not, we'll see. Like we said, we went up as much as 100, 117, 120 points today. We came right back down. And we closed up about 30 points on the Dow. So it's hard to tell if this has got any footing or not, or if this is a springboard to go higher, or if it's just maybe a dead cat bounce or something like that. So we'll check it out. Definitely, you know us, we're all over it. And as for Chad, we will check out that ticker tomorrow. You're welcome, Chad. Come back tomorrow. We'll check out QPEG. And all of you have a great Tuesday afternoon, okay?